Hello Needham channel viewers and welcome to episode 13 of Real Money Moves. I'm your host Connor Gillen, and today the crew is out in the field at one of my listings in Needham. We're going to be sitting down and interviewing Ben Maiden of Octavian Development and Confito Builders to find out a little bit more about this stunning renovation project he did in Needham. Ben, I'd like to thank you for coming out and taking the time to meet with us here today. I wanted to shed light on what I think is a phenomenal story about you buying, renovating, and selling homes in the neighborhood you grew up in. So tell me a little bit about that. What's your connection to the neighborhood here?
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. Really appreciate it. So I think it means the world to me to be able to, have renovated this house and be able to sell it in a neighborhood that I grew up in. I spent over 20 years in this neighborhood. I still have childhood friends in the neighborhood. I know most of the neighbors here, so it was just an honor to be working here.
I remember when you called me at 7 a.m. about this property. You were so excited about this opportunity. What was so special about this opportunity to you?
So I think, going back to the fact that I grew up in the neighborhood, I still know most of the people that live here, number
Right.
one. But also, I worked in the neighborhood as a kid, so half of the neighbors here all had me shoveling their driveway by 10 years old. And so
Love it.
to have the opportunity to be back in my neighborhood working again was really nice. It's
Well, a
something.
lot of them were asking if you would still shovel their driveways while you were working.
Yeah, and I told them I'm happy to do it.
Yeah, love it. So Ben, can you describe the scope of the work and the goals through the renovation project
Absolutely.
here?
Yeah, so I think the narrative really, when we bought the house and sat down and thought about what we really wanted to do, was we wanted not just to modernize and maximize the existing space,
Right.
but we wanted to make sure that it was, turnkey. We wanted to make sure that the mechanicals, the structurals, everything were up to date. So the plumbing was all new, the electrical's new. We've checked all of the structural components of the house. They're all in great shape.
Right.
Heating and cooling system, roofs, everything, insulation, windows. We pretty much went through the house all the way, top to bottom, in and out, to make sure that it was like buying a new house that, had just been built a couple of years ago.
And tell the viewers, what did you do to kind of modernize and open up this space here on the first floor? It's kind of really the heart of the home.
So I think what's important for a lot of people when they're buying homes that are renovated, new construction, whatever it may be, is they want to feel somewhat of an open concept. And
Right.
with these older colonials, what you see a lot of the time is a lot of small compartmentalized little pieces of a house that are all broken up. And in today's age, people want to be able to see the kid running around and see the baby crawling, and they don't want to leave any closed spaces. So the intent was to make this family friendly, to make it a little bit lighter. We have bigger windows now, and we wanted to kind of allow the light to go through all of the spaces in the first floor. So we really wanted to just make it more inviting and also be able to host a little bit bigger of a party if you were to
Sure,
have that,
yeah.
whatever it may be. People are looking for an open concept now.
Right, and you said too, it's very functional and very family friendly. So, a lot of the feedback has been just that it's a very functional and very operational space, which is great.
Yeah, it's been really nice to hear that from all the neighbors.
And so what have the neighbors told you about their feedback about the renovation? What have you heard from them?
It's been great. Anytime you go into any neighborhood, especially one that people know you in, you're always waiting for some sort of judgment,
Right.
especially when you're coming in and either building a new house or renovating a house. And it's been great because all of the neighbors have came in and it's all been really positive feedback. I've spoken to a lot of them. These are homes that were built by the same developer, and so a lot of the neighbors live
Right,
in very
right.
similar homes, and they're all saying, wow, I wish that I would have thought to open up this wall or to put in an island here. And it's just really nice to hear all that when you're doing a project for a year waiting for someone to be upset about it. It's been great to hear nothing but positive feedback.
Yeah, it's amazing. And, a lot of the feedback that I've heard as well is people are proud. We remember Ben Maiden when he was shoveling our driveway when he was 8 years old, right? But then they come through, they see, the transformation of the home here, and they're proud. They were like, wow, this is great. It's a neighborhood guy. We know he does great work. And then when a lot of them did come through, when we were opening up for open houses, they loved the space.
Yeah, and I think that was part of the special opportunity to me, right? Is I knew the family that had lived here
Right.
for many years before they moved, and it was a very special thing to be able to be a part of turning this neighborhood over. my parents are still down the street. They're in their 60s. They're toying with the question, are we going to move? Are we going to stay? Are they going to wait for me to take the house? Right. And I think it's just a special thing when you're watching, some of the neighbors start to go, to be a part of growing that neighborhood that you've been a part of for over 20 years.
So Ben, tell us about both of your businesses, Octavian Development and Confido Builders. You own and have grown two robust development companies. Tell us a little bit about them.
Thanks. So to explain a little bit about both businesses, you kind of have to take the story back to about 10 years ago. Just about when I was getting ready to graduate from high school, you were a couple of years out. And I was really starting to think about what I was looking to do, whether it be going to college or trying to see if there was a career out there that I could, get into and hone my craft, so to speak. And I landed on carpentry. And I started for a builder in town, Gene Voloshin, Catalyst Development. Wonderful business, wonderful people, family business. They are arguably one of the best in town. And they really gave me the opportunity to see inside of the development business and learn how to build a house, sell a house, market a house. It's a lot of jobs mixed into one.
Sure, absolutely.
So I spent 3 to 4 years with them and was given an opportunity to go and start my own business, and chose that. And that was actually 5 years ago today. And
wow.
Wow. And so we started with our first project, and we basically have grown to a point where we are developing many homes every year, up 5 to 7 houses a year. We're renovating and selling another few more, and next year we're hoping to by 10% up those numbers. So that in itself turned into a lot of work for a relatively small team. And so the question became, how do we handle all this incoming work? And it was tough to kind of understand how I really wanted to build a team out. And did I want to center my team on a development company, or did I want to branch out and start with something else, right? And a good friend of mine, another Needham guy, Aaron Steves, came home from California. He was in the construction field for years, and he said, I'd love to work together. He grew up with my older brother in town. They graduated together in '06, I believe. And he was looking for anything to do in Needham. We both wanted a business in Needham. And for years, after being a developer in town, I just got calls every day. Can you renovate my bathroom? Can you renovate my kitchen? Are you willing to do an addition on my house? And when you're developing a couple houses a year with a relatively small team, so to speak, it's hard to take on those projects because you really want to give your clients the best of service. You want to be able to be around for them and have them be the first priority. And that was where a unique opportunity arose, and where Aaron and I started what is my second company, Confido Builders. And it's a general contracting company. So it's really special to me because while we might go and do 40 kitchens in Needham a year or 2 additions in Needham a year, whatever have you, I also now can give my own development projects to my own team. So the development company can really focus on the projects itself and finding more and giving the best client care that we can possibly give, while handing over our general contracting work to our sister company.
Right, so Octavian Development is more the ground-up developments, tear-downs, large projects, where Confido is more, hey, I might need a small addition, or I'm looking to renovate a kitchen or bathrooms, or miscellaneous areas around the home.
That's correct.
So you have two companies that can really do any kind of development or renovation, which is pretty special.
Yeah, it's unique. Confido Builders is a super unique company because most general contractors are, a small one-man band, and this is a big company that takes anything from a small bathroom project up to, outfitting 30 units in Alston or doing an elevator in Southie. So, we are very well versed throughout, any different particular construction sector that you may have, whether it be commercial or residential. It's a really, really unique company.
So Ben, now that this project is complete here, what's next for Octavian Development and Confido Builders?
It's a great question. We have a lot of work booked out for the next year, so we've been super fortunate to have really made a name for ourselves in the Metro West area. So we have a lot of renovation projects, outfitting projects, You know, we have a restaurant that we're doing in Newton currently.
Excellent.
For Confito, and on the development side, we have a couple different houses. I think 4 houses that are going to be being built this year. So we have a lot going on and a lot booked into the following year. But something that we've learned over the past couple of years in business is that you can have 3 projects tomorrow and 7 next week. So
right, of course.
We're excited to see what comes our way.
So Ben, what advice would you give to anyone trying to start their own company?
It's a good question. First off, I'd start with surround yourself with a lot of good people, whether that be a mentor, somebody that's going to teach you and help you kind of hone your skills, people that support you, whether it be friends, family, whoever it may be. Support yourself with people who are really willing to help you grow a business, because starting any business, whether it's the intent is to be big or small, they all start small. And when they're small, there's a lot of work and there's a lot of different hats that you have to wear, and there's a lot of support that you need. So don't be afraid to do the work. Find people that are going to support you through it. Find people that are going to teach you, that are willing to teach you, and most importantly, find what it is that doesn't feel like work, that is something that excites you to get up. That at 7 a.m. when something pops up, you're excited about it. It's not something that you should. If you have any hesitation, find something else. There's something there for everybody, and you just have to spend the time to really understand what that is.
Love that. Well, Ben, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy, and I really appreciate you, kind of shedding light and letting the viewers know, kind of a little bit about the behind the scenes here.
Yeah.
So I really appreciate it. Really appreciate your time.
Thanks
for
being having me.
Thank you for tuning in to episode 13 of Real Money Moves. I hope this episode provided valuable insight to the world of real estate development and renovation. If you have any questions or miscellaneous real estate needs, please feel free to reach me at the contact info on your screen. I'd be delighted to help Needham channel viewers and community members alike. I'm Connor Gillen from Real Money Moves, and I'll see you real soon.